everyone, welcome to this lesson. In the previous lesson, we talked about the shift method in JavaScript and how elements can be shifted, and that the shift method behaves like the pop method, only that instead of removing the last element, it works by removing the first element of your array, and that is the difference between the two methods. And also, the shift method returns the shifted out values, which means that you can view the value that was removed from your array. So this was what we talked about in the previous lesson, with some examples that demonstrated how the shift method removes the first array element and shift all other elements to a lower index. In this lesson, we'll continue by talking about another method of working with arrays in JavaScript, which is the Unshift array method. So the Unshift method adds a new element to an array at the beginning and unshifts other elements. So the Unshift method adds a new element to an array at the beginning. So if you want to add a new element to an array, and at the beginning of that array, the Unshift method is how you can do it in JavaScript. Now, the shift method removes, but the Unshift instead adds. So that's the difference between the two. One removes at the beginning and the other adds at the beginning, which is the Unshift method, as we are going to be seeing examples in this particular lesson. So let's quickly take a look at an example of what we have right here on the screen. So let me make a variable that is assigned an array of fruits. Oh no, I'm not even using fruits. Sorry, I want to use something else like city. So I want to do a Paris, Melbourne, Amsterdam, this is my city. Now, to use the Unshift method, let me give this a variable and say results equals to city dot unshift. So I want to, add one element in this video at the beginning of my array. So which state do I want to add? So I can look for a state and say, okay, I want to add a Miami. And then I can output my results. Now, if you take a look at my city, right now, just a second, let me uncomment this so that we can see the two at the same time. Now, I want this for demo 2. Equals results. Now, you can see that right here, this 1, 2 is not showing the added results like when we worked with the push method. So which means this is not applicable in this scenario. But one thing I want you to notice is that if you check city now, what this did is that this is showing us that the index position, the length of our array has increased from 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3 to 4 to 5, which is why you are seeing 5 on the screen. Result, sorry. So which is why we are seeing 5. So this is telling us that the length which used to be 4 has increased to 5 because of the addition of this one. This is what this is showing. Now, if you look at the original array now, you can see that we now have Miami, Paris, Melbourne, Amsterdam, Dubai, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. When we count with index, but when we use length to check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is what you are seeing right here. Now, you can add more than one element. So I can find another, state that I want or city, Detroit, and add it. And you will see that what this is doing is that every new element is being added at the beginning of my array, which means that the first element will take the first position, the second element will take the second position, and that is how it will continue to add up. See this? Now, you can notice that every other city comes after Miami because this is the first in my Unshift method and this is the second. And if I decide to say, okay, I want New York as the first, it's just for me to change order this way. And this also will work. So now you can see that right now, New York is now the first element. So the Unshift method add one or more elements at the beginning of an array, which is what we just saw right here. Now, you can also change elements when working with arrays in JavaScript. Array elements are accessed using their index number. I hope you all know. So, because array index starts with 0. 0 is the first element, 1 is the second element, and so on and so forth. So, you can use the bracket notation as well, the traditional bracket notation. So, as well, access elements in your array using the indexed number. And this means that if you take a look at this example, I don't need this for now. Now, if you take a look at this city example, I can as well access it this way. City, and use brackets to say, okay, in the position of maybe 0, I want London. Document.city. So I want to add this to, let results or something. Now, you can see that even before I output this, look at it now. London has been added. And now, London is replacing what we have. You can see this. London is replacing Paris, which happens to be our first city. So, bracket notation can be used to, change, we can use the bracket notation to access the index number of an element and use that index number to change the value of that element, just as we use London to replace Paris in this example. So this is how you can change elements using the bracket notation in JavaScript. Thank you. I'll see you in the next lesson.